Being respected in life in general is pretty important, but being respected and honored in a relationship is one of the main fundamentals. And if you struggle with getting your man to respect you, or just men in general, I want to give you some quick tips in this video on how to get respect from a man. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee Slansky. I am a professional dating and relationship coach, and I help women from around the world find and build the love that they desire and deserve. Okay, respect. Now, one of the things that I will say is that you can't force anybody to respect you. And when I put these titles of how to do this and get a man to do this, the reason why I do it is because I know that people will click on it because this is what they ultimately desire. But of course, I want you to understand that trying to force somebody to do anything isn't right and it's not going to work. You don't want to be forcing people to do stuff. You want them to have a willingness so that it actually is genuine. So let's jump into those tips right now so that you can work out how to actually get a man to respect you. The first thing to do is mirror respect so that you can receive respect back. Ladies, we can't keep going out there demanding that a man respects us and demanding that a man treats us a certain way if we ourselves aren't actually doing the same thing. In order to be able to get something back, we have to be able to give something. And one of the best ways to encourage positive behavior that we want from somebody is to actually do that positive behavior ourselves. For example, if you want him to start respecting you when it comes to putting time aside and actually turning up on time, well, if you're always turning up late and not communicating why, then he doesn't really have a reason to step up if you yourself aren't actually stepping up. The second thing to do is, if you want to encourage respect from a man, is you have to put down boundaries and you have to give consequences to certain behavior. Now, I have coached women who have been in a relationship and it's all been very amazing in the beginning, and then things start to dwindle a little bit. And she then goes into this fear of losing him, so she disrespects herself by allowing him to treat her like crap, and then wonders why he isn't respecting her or wanting to treat her better. Relationships will go through ups and downs, and the truth is, especially in the early stages of dating, men will test women to work out, is this woman able to really handle me? Is she the woman that's able to add value to my life? And so if you want to be able to earn his respect whilst also respecting yourself and setting that tone of self-love and self-worth, then you need to put down boundaries in a relationship and don't put up with crappy behavior. Now, a simple way to give a consequence isn't necessarily by giving the silent treatment or yelling at them or being abusive or manipulating. That isn't behavior that is worthy of respect. Again, you've got to mirror in order to be able to receive. Not only that, if you know that you're doing the right thing and you know that yourself are acting respectful, and again, he's not able to respect you all this time, then all I can say is that you're learning more about his character. For example, if he has said, I'm going to be home at 8 p.m. and he doesn't get home to midnight. He doesn't actually, oh, there goes my light. He doesn't call you. He doesn't communicate where he is, and he comes home, he's drunk, he's fumbling around, and he basically just flops on the couch and goes to sleep. That isn't really acceptable behavior. And depending if this is something that is happening all the time or if it is out of character, either way, it needs to be addressed. So instead of you punishing him, what you need to do is you need to give him a consequence for his decisions. There is a difference between punishing and giving a consequence. Punishing comes from a place of, I want to make you hurt. Consequence comes from a place of, this is the decision you made, and because you've made that, this is the momentum effect it is going to have. And consequence is about, again, having boundaries in order to be able to protect what is healthy and fundamental in a relationship, and keeping them accountable. Now, obviously, that's not okay that they've just come home when 4 hours later with no communication whatsoever when they said that they were going to be home 4 hours earlier. So there needs to be some sort of boundary there. And by putting that boundary there, by saying, I'm not accepting this behavior, it's not good enough, it isn't right, it doesn't encourage trust, you're saying to them that because you've made this decision, this is the outcome of it. And by doing that and setting that boundary, by not just saying, oh, it's okay, and sweeping it under the rug, or allowing them to just slip back into the familiar thing like everything's okay when you know it's not okay, it means that you're firmly placing that boundary there. Now, my next point is this: communicate clearly. When you feel disrespected in a relationship, you need to be able to explain rather than express why you feel disrespected. Relationships are when two people come together with their own habits and baggage. So you're going to hit a couple of battles along the way. Somebody might do something and not realize that they're being disrespectful to you. So instead of just blowing up about it or remaining silent and just seething about it, you're better off communicating clearly. So let's use the whole falling home at 12 p.m. on the couch example. What you would do in this instance is when you wake up in the morning, okay, or you've had that moment to actually calm down and now he's sober, and you would say something clearly like this: why did you get home so late? You told me that you were getting home at 8 p.m. I was actually really concerned about you, especially when you didn't answer my calls. What you're doing here is you're asking a question rather than accusing. You're saying, why did this happen when you told me that this was going to happen? So you're giving them some factual, logical evidence, and then you're expressing the feelings out of that decision and that action that they made by saying it actually hurt you because you were worried about them. So you're expressing concern, okay? So it comes across as a really mature sort of conversation rather than, you always do this, and how can I respect you when you don't respect me and I space my time, and it just all becomes this big hot mess, okay? You've got to understand that when you come to issues in your relationship, or when somebody does something to hurt you, if you want to be able to resolve it, or at least understand if it can be resolved, you have to be able to talk about it from a calm, emotionally intelligent way, instead of just expressing, in a way for your anger and your pain. Communication is about taking time to process what needs to be said in order to be able to get progress in the situation. Okay, before I jump into my next 3 tips on how to get more respect from a man, don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the thumbs up button, and drop a thanks Renee down below if this video is helping you. Okay, the next thing to do is respect yourself daily. Now, the truth is, someone else can respect you even if you're not really confident in respecting yourself. It's like someone can still love you even if you don't know how to love yourself properly. However, again, we want to encourage more respect by actually living the conviction ourselves that we are worth respecting, because you are, regardless of who you are or your past or where you are right now. So there are little things that we can do to actually reflect self-respect. For example, looking after your appearance, looking after your health, washing, showering, brushing your teeth, simple hygiene things to show that, I'm giving myself acts of love because I respect myself. Not putting up with toxic friendships or maybe toxic work environments. Making decisions on a daily basis that actually empower you to be your best person is a reflection of self-respect. Now, the second last thing to do in order to be able to get a man to respect you a little bit more is have your own thing going on. What I've found with working with men and coaching tens of thousands of men is that men really respect a woman when she isn't just sitting around waiting for life to happen to her or waiting for love to happen to her. She's actually proactive in thriving in and out of love. She is setting her own goals. She's achieving things. She's got her own social circle. She's got her own friends. Maybe she's got her own job and she's contributing, and she's independent in a way that she's not necessarily saying, I don't need a man, or trying to prove anything, but she's independent in a way that she knows how to function as a whole human without anybody, because she realizes that her life is something that can be wonderful just because she is who she is. And I think that men really appreciate a woman and respect a woman who isn't afraid to go and chase after her own dreams, who isn't afraid to step up and take risk and challenges that are actually going to enhance her life. And lastly, ladies, stop reacting and start switching on your EI, or emotional intelligence. If you want a man to be able to respect you, and if you want to encourage respectful behavior and honoring from a man, you've got to stop reacting emotionally every single time. Now, I will give you a little bit of an insight right here and now. I did a bit of a survey about what it is that men really want from women, what men want women to do more, rather. And I have actually done a video on that, which you can check out over here. But one of the things that men actually said is they want to feel that when a woman says to a guy, okay, tell me how you're feeling, or what's the issue here, and basically she's asking him to be vulnerable, he wants to know that when he is vulnerable, that she's just not going to react emotionally. Don't forget, ladies, that men are more logical based in their brain rather than emotional based. If we're able to show that we're not just reacting emotionally to life all the time, so we're like this hot mess or this roller coaster, or we're just volatile, I think men will respect you more if you know how to respond rather than just react. Now, I'm not saying that you have to act like a man or think like a man or just be all logic and no emotion. And I'm not saying that you should shut down your emotions. Men love the femininity and the emotional side of a woman. However, I think that when we're in a mental state of just high emotion, we do crazy things, like we send way too many texts, or we act a little bit psycho, or we speak things and do things which don't encourage respect, and then we demand respect back. And it's, hang on a second, it's like, well, hang on, you did this doesn't really add up. So if we can take control of our emotions and choose to respond rather than react, I guarantee he'll probably end up respecting you a whole lot more, and you'll probably end up respecting yourself a bit more too. Well, there you go, guys and girls. I hope that this video has blessed you. Have an amazing day. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Drop a thanks Renee down below and let me know, what videos do you want me to do for you? I literally have a whole list of content planned. But of course, I want to make sure that it is exactly what you want as I bring love education into the world. Until next time, have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye for now.